Yeah, I fought a bunch of times in Thailand. I lost. I lost a lot of them. My first, I think, yeah, it was my first 5 fights. I lost all of them. I just tried to get as much experience as I could at first, and then have it pay off later. I knew this was coming ever since the first fight. I knew that this was what I wanted to do. I knew that I would make it to stardom, but the only shocking thing was it happened so fast. That's what shocked me.
Welcome to the Science of Building Champions podcast, where your host Don Heatrick chats with top-level fighters and coaches, diving into their stories to discover what makes champions.
In this episode, I'm speaking with Johan JoJo Ghazali, a 17-year-old Malaysian-American Muay Thai knockout artist launching his challenge in the One Championship Flyweight division. Johan, it's great to have a chance to speak with you ahead of your One Flyweight Muay Thai fight against Nguyen Tran Duy Nhat on June the 7th. Thanks for joining me today.
No problem. It's good, yeah.
And I mentioned there at 17 years old, I mean, you're soon going to be turning 18 years old, but you've already made a massive impact on One Friday nights, winning your first 5 fights straight, 4 of them with a knockout. Mm-hmm. But you're far from new to Muay Thai, starting around age 10 in Malaysia, and both your parents were involved in Muay Thai too. They're Muay Thai fighters. Yep. So how did you get started in martial arts and Muay Thai in particular?
To be honest, martial arts has been a part of my family since I can remember. My grandfathers were boxers. My parents were fighters. Now my brothers, all my siblings fight. Not only fighting, I'd say, it's warrior blood. We've always been in some sort of fighting or martial arts. So I started Muay Thai for fun. Honestly, we started just for exercise, for fun. And then the coach came to me. He asked me, "Johan, do you want to fight?" I said, "I'm not doing anything else, so why not?" At first, I didn't really want to fight, but then my mom said, she said, "I don't care. You got to try it once. if you like it, stick with it. If you don't, then you can stop. But you have to try it once." So, and after my first fight, I fell in love.
It's different when you start competing, isn't it? It kind of allows you to explore a bit more yourself, I think. What did you find was the big difference there for you competing compared to just training?
It gave me confidence. It gave that feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of adrenaline, the feeling of the excitement before the fight. Everything it's like a drug. You get addicted to it, and I'm still addicted.
Well, you just keep chasing those challenges, don't you? And those you keep knocking those challenges down, and you're finding the next one. And this is where you've got to already. But I'm also interested, talking about the family side of it. Were there any siblings that you were training with as well, or was it literally just mum and dad?
Yeah, we all started at the same time. All my brothers and my sister started a bit late, but we all started around the same time. So we were and we still are in the gym every day together. So we train together, we run together, we do everything together. And yeah, it's been there's good and bad to it, but we're close. Yeah.
And are your brothers, your siblings there, are they older than you, or whereabouts in the age bracket are you?
I'm the second. There's one older brother, one younger brother, and the youngest is a girl.
Gotcha. I was just interested because, you're a tough fighter, and I just wondered where you were in the kind of pecking order of siblings, and did you have bigger brothers?
I'm the second child.
Yeah. And did you do any other sort of sports at high school or anything else, or has it literally been sort of Muay Thai all the time?
Oh, I've done a bunch of stuff. I've played baseball, I've played football, I've done like archery and like taekwondo and stuff like that, but nothing really like caught my eye. Nothing made me attracted to it like Muay Thai did. Because everything else, it didn't feel real. When I played football, it was like it was a team sport. I had to rely on other people. Other people had to rely on me, and it wasn't like I like being in the spotlight. I like being in control of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I completely get you there. I've played team sports as well, and martial arts was the one that I kind of did to keep me fit in between playing team sports off season. But it quickly took over me. It's like, do you know what? I prefer this. I've always loved full contact sports, but it was, there's something different about Muay Thai.
It is. It's very different. It's an art. It's a beautiful art.
And that's kind of, that very much seems to come out of you. And I guess because of your family and the background and everything, that you are a martial artist. It's not just, I'm a combat sports athlete and that's it. It's like that's the end result of where this has gone, but it's come from a background of martial arts.
Yeah. It's in the blood.
But I'd love to know why Muay Thai? What is it that you appreciated about Muay Thai from the start?
Why Muay Thai? Honestly, I don't know. It was the martial arts that felt real to me. Like I said, I did Taekwondo before, and you know how Taekwondo is. It's like you fight, and it's like not really a fight. I've been to Pencak Silat. You know what Pencak Silat is?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been to Pencak Silat competitions, and there's all this bunch of rules, and you can't do this, you can't do that. But then I saw Muay Thai, and of course I watched boxing, but boxing, it's just hands, It's still a deadly sport, but at the same time, it didn't feel real, Like Muay Thai, it's kill or be killed, that's why I fell in love with it.
In these other martial arts, even, did you find you get disqualified quite a bit?
I wasn't really.
Did anything like that happen?
No. I would be if I joined now.
Yeah. And I mentioned that your 5 straight wins since joining one championship, but your competitive career didn't actually start with wins like that, did it?
No.
In fact, was it like your first 5 fights in Thailand that you ended up losing?
I think it was 5 or
Something
6.
Like that.
I fought. I fought a bunch of times in Thailand. I lost a lot of them. My first, I think, it was my first 5 fights. I lost all of them. But because in Malaysia here, we don't get the experience that the Thais do. But I realized that, and I knew that if I want to beat these guys, I have to train double than what they train. Because they grow up with experience. They fight every week. They have unlimited opponents. But here in Malaysia, to get a fight once every 3 months is considered a lot. So I realized that I have to train double than them. And every time I went to Thailand, I didn't care who I was gonna fight. I just tried to get as much experience as I could at first, and then have it pay off later.
Yeah, it is that investment, isn't it? And not being deterred. I'm seeing this as an apprenticeship. I'm working through it. Yeah. Because of your age and what you've already achieved so far, you're often referred to as a Muay Thai prodigy. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
It's all right. It's good, of course. It's good. And I feel the pressure. I would be lying if I said there was no pressure with holding that kind of title, right? So the pressure builds up, but at the same time, I knew this was coming ever since the first fight. I knew that this was what I wanted to do. I knew that I would make it to stardom, but the only shocking thing was it happened so fast. That's what shocked me. So I'm not surprised that I'm here where I am now, but I'm surprised it happened so fast.
Yeah. And would you like the term prodigy kind of has connotations of being like a natural talent for all of this stuff? Is that actually how you see yourself, or do you see yourself more as I've just put a lot of work in here and been in the right situations to develop myself along this line?
The second one, hard work beats talent. I know there are so many other fighters who are a lot more talented than me, but I can guarantee that they don't have the heart like me. You know, they don't train as hard as me, and at the same time, I have to realize that a lot of things had to fall in place for me to be here. But of course, without the hard work that I put in, none of this would be able to happen. So, like you said just now, you know, hard work and a lot of things fell into place.
Yeah. You gotta be doing something with those opportunities. That's the thing, that motivation. You've got to plug that into it. And you've certainly kept that going since you're like 10 years old, as you've got more and more of a taste of where this is going. Yeah. And talking about where this is going now, in that flyweight Muay Thai division, Rodtang's the champion. Yeah. And you've made quick progress, already earning one contract. Mm-hmm. And now you're working towards that world title yourself too. So what needs to happen? How do you plan to continue developing as a fighter in order to take that flyweight title?
Honestly, realistically, I would say just more experience. You know, just give me another. I don't know. I would say, like, if it was up to me, I would fight him next year. But realistically, I would say 4 or 5 fights of more experience, and I'd be ready. You know, that's what I think. No, the only way these Thai fighters or these high level fighters are gonna beat me is because of experience, not because of strength or heart or whatever. It's just they have more experience, and I can work around that, but I need a bit of time.
Yeah, it's patience, isn't it? Although you've got things happening very quickly, you're still willing to be patient, and that's the thing.
To, you know, if I go too fast, I'll crash. So I gotta check my steps. Yeah.
Speaking of patience as well, you've won most of your fights, well, all of them but one, by knockout. I'm interested. During a fight, is the knockout something you're focusing on, or is it something that just naturally presents itself?
I learned early on that if I chase a knockout, it will most likely not come. So I just let the knockout come to me. You know, I fight how I train into the gym. You know, I do the strategy that we've been training. You know, I do what I'm supposed to do. But when the opportunity presents itself, I take it. But I don't go chasing for a knockout. You know, it will if I just chill out, focus, and do what I need to do, the knockout will present itself.
Yeah. You just seem to have those almost like heat-seeking hands that find a target. if it comes up, it's almost like I didn't think that was going to happen. It just autopilot. It did it. Found the target. I was almost defending myself at the time.
Opens, I'm there. Yeah.
And it's great when you can trust that your tools will do that for you. You can be tired, you can be pressured, and it's like if a window opens, I know if I'm at the right distance, I'm gonna acquire that target.
Yeah. It's practice makes perfect. You know, I drill the same things every day over and over. So when the door opens, like I said, I'll be there.
What do you think are the most important traits or characteristics for a champion to have?
Like any other aspect of life, you know, you need hard work, consistency, discipline. You need to sacrifice. It's simple, but it's hard. You know, like if you want to be successful in anything in life, I noticed that it's the same formula, but yeah, it's not as simple as it. It's simple, but it's hard.
Yeah. And like you say, all of this stuff scales. It's what I love about, well, any kind of physical training, but Muay Thai, I just see it as right up there at the top. It kind of pushes you psychologically to kind of find out where your kind of ragged edges are, and to find out, you know, what is simple but hard, and still consistently work at it. And how do I react when things get tough? And it is scalable. It happens right through life.
Yeah. I would recommend everyone to try and fight at least once. You know, do a full training camp, get in the ring, feel the adrenaline, feel the pain, you know, feel the hard work, and try to fight at least once. You'll find out more about yourself.
Yeah. completely different to just training for training's sake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
So far as a fighter, though, what would you say have been your greatest obstacles and the challenges and lessons that you've learned from that?
My biggest obstacles would be, like I said, my first 5 fights in Thailand were uh, the hardest. They're still hard, but when I was trying to get up there with not enough experience, those were the hardest challenges, because I realized that I was training in in the gym. I didn't have partners, like the Thais have. They have so many training partners and clinch buddies. They have sparring partners. I didn't have none of that. It was just me, my coach, my brothers. My brother was too big for me. My little brother was too small for me. So it was a hard time. So we did what we could, but every time I stepped in the ring with one of these high experienced Thai fighters, I would always lose in the clinch, or lose by some sort of like experience thing. I would be so pissed off that I knew I could do better, but yeah, yeah.
But you took those and turned them into something that's driving you forward rather than getting
patience,
demotivated.
patience.
Yeah, there we go. Patience.
Patience.
And you spoke about like your brother being bigger and all the rest of it. I'm thinking about your size as well, and being a maturing fella, 18 years old, and you're currently fighting at flyweight. As you continue to physically mature, is keeping under that flyweight limit becoming more of a challenge to you yet?
It's been pretty challenging. These my past 4 fights were easy. I made the flyweight weight easy. But the 5th fight, it was hard to make the hydration. That's why I missed weight. I made the weight, but I didn't pass the hydration. But I wasn't really too serious on my nutrition my last fight, because I was confident. I knew, because the past 4 fights were easy. I thought the 5th fight would be no problem. So, but this fight, I got a proper camp. I have a nutritionist. I have a personal chef. I have everything set out. I'm on weight now, so weight should be no problem. In the future, I'm sure I'll grow a little more. So I don't know. I'll definitely move up in weight, but I don't know when. Maybe 2 or 3 fights. So we'll see.
Yeah. What are the factors you're kind of considering before moving up to bantamweight?
Seeing how hard it is to keep the weight down. Seeing how hard it is. Because of course, I'm growing. I'm putting on muscle, and I don't want to kill myself dieting to make weight rather than just eat and fight hard.
There's a difference between training to achieve some sort of body composition and make weight, and then training for performance.
It's different.
In terms of training and fueling and everything.
Some people train to get fit, some train to stay slim, but we train to be fighters. We're fight training, so it's different.
You'll know the time, won't you, when it's like, yeah, do you know what? This has just sabotaged me trying to stay under this limbo level. It's time.
I will.
Yeah. And speaking of sort of changes there, for most of your previous fights, you've also had high school commitments as well during fight camps.
As what?
How you've had high school commitments as well as the training for fight camps. So how has your fight preparation changed since you started as a fighter and up to now?
This is the first training camp I've had since I left high school, so this is the best training camp I've had. I'm very confident. I was wondering, I was laying in bed the other day. I was wondering, why am I not nervous? Why am I so confident in this fight? Because normally I'm freaking out. Then I realized that this camp has been great. I haven't had any injuries. I haven't been sick. I've been training twice a day, every day for the past 2 months. I'm on weight. But these past 5 fights, I've been trying to juggle high school. I've been trying to diet. I've been trying to keep the weight down. I've been trying to train twice a day before and after school. So it was complicating. So this fight was pretty it's a lot less stressful and it's a lot easier. So I'm confident. It's been the best fight camp. I'm in the best shape of my life, so I'm ready.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Is there anything that you're considering now that adding anything different to your schedule, or any kind of professional development, perhaps, now that you can afford more focus on your fight career?
Yeah, I just added like I said, nutritionist. I have a personal chef. I just flew in strength and conditioning coach from the Philippines for the past 2 months. He's been with me working on strength and conditioning. We train that 3-4 times a week. So yeah, I've leveled up since the last fight. So be ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if you've kind of been operating while being a student, and now this is what you're doing. Yeah,
it is.
If you could go back in time and change anything about how you've approached your Muay Thai training, maybe adopt some sort of approach sooner, what would that be?
I would say the weight cutting. Before one championship, how weight cuts are. It's crazy. It's very, very unhealthy, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to do that. But I remember cutting weight like 7-8 kilos in 2 days, so it is death. And I would recommend getting a nutritionist, like focus on what you eat and get the weight down professionally, and not try to kill yourself before a fight. Yeah.
Well, it can undo a lot of work at the last minute there, where you just can't express any of what you've really been training for. It's just gone at the last minute, just because of what happened in the last week or even day.
100%, yeah.
Finally, if you were to give one piece of advice to help someone to be as great as they can be, what would it be?
Do what you want. Do what your heart tells you. Listen to your gut. Don't listen to what other people say. Just follow your heart, no matter what people say. If I listened to what people said, I wouldn't be here. So just follow your heart and do what you want, but you have to be willing to sacrifice, work hard, and be consistent at it. You can't just expect to just do what you want and get everything. It's still pretty hard, but when you want something, you're willing to sacrifice and put in the work. So yeah.
And I guess that although you're saying don't listen to people, it's kind of don't listen to the people that don't believe in what you're trying to achieve, but you're listening to the right people who are supporting you and aligning you the right way. Yeah.
Don't listen to the people who say you can't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the wisdom to know the difference between the people that are the right people to listen to. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, do you know what? Thanks, Johan. You undoubtedly are an inspiration, not only because of what you've already accomplished so far, but I think because of your martial artist attitude. It really comes out. It really does. And I'm looking forward to watching your story continue, starting with your next fight on 167. So bring those fireworks, JoJo.
I will 100%. Don't worry.
That's something we can always count on. Your fights are exciting to watch.
100%. Win, lose, or draw, I'll make sure it's entertaining. Don't worry.
Before we sign off, you can tune in to watch that fight on June 7 between Johan JoJo Ghazali and Nguyen Tran Duy Nhat on 167 through Amazon Prime and live on the One Championship YouTube channel. And you can catch up with Johan Ghazali on Instagram at Johan Ghazali _. As always, you can find all the relevant links and additional details in our show notes. Thanks for tuning in to this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one, where we continue to explore the world of Muay Thai.
Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone else it could help too. Please give the podcast a review or comment below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can visit heatrick.com for more Muay Thai performance podcasts, videos, articles, and guides. Catch you next time.